Hello, my fellow pipe smokers. Doug coming to you from the pipe rest, and not doing too bad today. Smoking in my Peterson Killarney 221, some Eileen's Dream. Love this little pipe, love this blend. Turned on to this blend by John, Average John, and thank you, John, because this has been one of the staples, that's for sure. Drink a little Faygo vanilla cream soda, left over from fair, so we gotta come down and grab a pipe today. I should be doing work. We got a bunch of stuff to be doing, but wasn't feeling it this afternoon, so I'm gonna grab this and see if I can't get up enough energy to get some of those tasks done that I've had on my list. But sometimes you just need to go down and have a pipe, you know. I haven't done a whole lot of talks lately. That last one, on alcohol and smoking and sin. Was the closest thing I'd gotten to in a while. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was molding character. And this is something that I've really kind of started to look at a lot more closer in the last few years. And I've got some people in my life who could use some molding. No, not relatives. The challenging part is that as I'm looking to figure out how to mold people, I'm still being molded. I'm still learning, I'm still changing, and always will be, right? There's a young man who's recently come into my life, who's maybe one step shy of being goofy, but a good kid. And willing to learn. And I've told people before, it's like, that's all you can that's all you can ask for. I mean, yeah, if you get a kid who's willing to learn that can't learn, then there's obviously some issues there. But this guy, when he does something wrong and I tell him about it, he's right there to change it. He does some things and says some things sometimes that aren't really appropriate for the situation, but when I bring that to his attention, he's right there to fix it. The humility level, I guess, instead of humidity level, it's a humility level, is in an area where dogs are barking, sorry. The humility level is in an area where it makes it prime for molding somebody. And I keep going back to that molding, almost like you have a piece of clay. For those of you who are Christian, there's references in the Bible about being molded, the master, God being the master of molding the clay. But that's kind of like, what I'm dealing with now is that, you're just like, oh, that's that part sticking out there. So you kind of mold it in a little bit, and some people are more moldable than others. And I've had some people in my life recently who are not as moldable. And so that's why I've been thinking a lot about it, because, the old me, excuse me, the old me would kick those people to the curb. and just say, well, can't do anything with that guy, or can't do anything with her, or whatever. Basically tell them to take a flying leap. But the older I get, the more I realize that there are reasons for the way people are the way they are. And I am sure, without a doubt, that people have looked at me sometimes and think, man, why is he like that? But there are people that not only take more molding, but you got to be careful about how you mold them. And if you go back to that example of the clay, sorry, I'm trying to keep us going. If you go back to that example of the clay, sometimes clay starts to dry before you're done with it. And the analogy there is that when you get those hard parts, if you push in the wrong place, you're going to break it. And it's going to damage the product that you're going for. So I've got this other person in my life who's got some hard parts, and trying to figure out where to mold that without getting too frustrated. That's my my molding, right? Is, man, I tried this and he's gone off and he's talking to people and he's just pissing me off. I don't know how else to say it. I can't help to think that the more I try, the more I look to figure out where this cat needs molded or how to mold this guy, that in the end, if it's done right, will be much more worth it. I also have to remind myself that it's not going to happen overnight, and that's the hard part for me. My patience is not what it should be, probably. And then there's another person in my life who's a, let's say, much larger piece to mold. And the hard parts are not necessarily all over, but they're really hard. So challenging, to say the least. And I'll be honest with you guys, I think I've talked on it before, but my venting, especially when it comes to bad fire calls or bad calls from medical examiner's office, my venting to my wife, who is huge shoulders, she's an awesome person, that's my therapy, right? But when you're having issues with somebody, venting to other people about it is not going to do you much good. Problem is, misery loves company. So what do I want to do? I want to go run into somebody else like a little schoolgirl and say, do you know what so-and-so did? Or can you believe they don't realize this? Or whatever. Which is usually followed up by, that evening, me kicking myself for opening my mouth. If I do. A lot of times I don't. And yes, I still vent to my wife, but I gotta wait for her to get home. So, I wish I could tell you guys that there's a moral to this story. Suffice to say that it's worth it, but no matter, and this is the other thing I remind myself of, is that no matter how hard you try to make the perfect piece, there's going to be bad ones. There's going to be ones that don't take. There's also going to be ones that you're trying to make one thing and you find out, holy cow, if I just look at that different, it's great here. It's great looking like this. It's great if I do that instead. Man, I was going for an ashtray, and that makes a perfect bowl. So, that's my goal. Keep molding. Keep trying. But see what happens. Guys, let me know. Are you dealing with some of the same things? Are there people in your life that you would that you need to try to figure out how to mold? And we all get it. Yeah, everybody has kids, or a lot of people have kids, and that's a whole process in itself. But let me know what you think. I'm kind of curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this stuff. So until then, guys, I hope you're all doing well. And until next time, you take care.